I have felt for a long time that a lot of what gets put down as being cults or culty behavior or cultishness really isn't that far from the mainstream. And I have a strong suspicion that a lot of the, and I think I've said this before somewhere, I have a strong suspicion that a lot of the cults which show up, which which manage to prosper and grow and become conspicuous and become notorious and attain notoriety because of their conspicuousness, because of their success, that these are intelligence sources. And so it's not, I say this because these cults, these organizations that get called cults are so adept at manipulation, at psychological manipulation of the most egregious sort. You know, they do it, they're willing to stoop really low to go really, bone level, gut level, to hit the low vibrational energy that David Icke refers to, the most negativity, the most the kind of stuff that plays on fears and plays on them shamelessly and plays on them relentlessly. I remember seeing some things from the People's Temple, Jim Jones's, outfit, his notorious community, and Jim Jones had to have been an asset of some kind, an intelligence asset of some kind, and I think there's evidence that points to that. But he had all of these rather credulous people following him, whether they were less educated black folks, or I don't know, these kinds of hippie types of people, who were looking for a savior, looking to build a utopia. That was sort of the bifurcation in the Jim Jones community, the People's Temple community. It was a lot of blacks who Jones had summoned out and said, the white power structure is out to get you, and I'm your savior. But America is completely racist to the bone, and they're gonna get you. It's gonna be, the Klan is gonna be riding through the streets and lynching you left and right. And he staged all of these. He isolated all of his people down in Guyana and in Jonestown, and he had these alerts, these drills where he would summon them forward and show them all of the stuff what's going to go down in America, and if they don't stay on the path that he wants them to stay on, that they'll be lynched and treated, re-enslaved and whatever. All of this incredible fear-mongering stuff, shameless kind of stuff. And he did it without remorse because he was a psychopath and a megalomaniac. And the thing is, we put somebody like him and say, oh, he's way over here. He's way over here, and we as a society, we're more reasonable than that. Or Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard and his crew, and the kind of things that they cook up. It's a different clientele in their case, but it's the same. You look at the magazines and the products that they put forth. They've got this whole thing about drugs being bad and the medical establishment being bad, which isn't wrong, I wouldn't say. But for them, it's an angle. It's an angle that they take, and they, they're just, again, completely shameless in the way that they use this kind of fear mongering. The way that I recall seeing some periodical or something that was put forth geared towards young people, and they had their own drug rehabilitation centers for youth. By the way, I have to say, maybe there are some youth rehabilitation centers or organizations or communities that were on the up and up. It seems like so many of them were just so absolutely slimy and culty in their own way, and these wilderness schools, the kind of stuff that you hear about a lot today. Kids being taken in the dead of night and sent to this place and just abused, and in this whole community of abuse where they're manipulated into abusing each other. These kinds of so-called schools, I look around at the kind of these drug rehabilitation places that were opening up. I remember in the 80s they had the charter centers, and drugs were the bogeyman. And I'm not saying I'm in favor of drugs or that drug abuse is not a real thing, but it was like they were using this this was their excuse, this was their pretext. And I know this sounds paranoid to some of you, but the more I look into it, the more I see these kinds of groups, these kinds of organizations. And again, I'll bring up Scientology. I saw this periodical which was about drugs or something, and like it was so like the cover had these kids like yelling and crying and looking, their faces were all contorted. It was very upsetting just to see this cover. It was like they just told them, okay, just amp up the angst, amp up the terror, and this was aimed at kids. Kids don't necessarily think to themselves, wait a minute, what's going on here? Well, I mean, people, even ordinary people, don't necessarily think to themselves, what's going on here? What are they trying to do? How are they trying to play with my emotions with these kinds of visuals and so forth? Just like Jim Jones's people. It's not that when I say that they were credulous or uneducated, I'm not putting them down. I'm not saying that they couldn't have known any better. It was just that they were never taught, or never learned, and he kept them in that state of ignorance and dependence on him. But the thing is, Jim Jones, L. Ron Hubbard, all the Scientology goons, we like say, okay, they're all over here. They're over here. They're way out. They're way out type of people. And culture, society, we're not like that. We are. The thing is, our so-called leaders, the people who would lead us, the people who claim to care about us, they do the exact same kinds of things. That's what they have been doing. Especially egregiously and shamelessly over the last year and change, with what's been going on, how they've been blowing it up, how they've been amping it up, how they've been fear-mongering shamelessly, telling us about about the new normal. It's never going to be normal again, and just the more I think about their behavior, the angrier I get. Honestly, the angrier I get, because these are deeply disingenuous people who are doing everything they can to increase the trauma and misery index in people who are good, people who are, good, normal people who just want to, I don't know, lead ordinary lives and good lives and work a job and, the middle class, join the middle class. Meanwhile, they're destroying the middle class, the wealth transfer from the working class and the middle class, the billions that have been lost from small businesses that have gone into the pockets of all of the richest people, the oligarchs, the billionaires, the Bezoses and Zuckerbergs and Gateses and all the rest of them. There's something, there's something very evil afoot, and I want to say that we get shown these things like Scientology, like Jim Jones. And by the way, Jim Jones was very well respected among liberal groups in California in the 70s. His People's Temple, I think Rosalind Carter, the First Lady, spoke highly of the People's Temple, and he had other, I think that what's the mayor, the hippie mayor, or not mayor, the hippie governor, Jerry Brown, was a big fan of the People's Temple. And so after they crash and burn, and Jim Jones convinces nearly 1,000 people to drink this poison Kool-Aid and to force their children to drink this poison Kool-Aid, and after that happens, then they say, oh well, Jonestown, a cautionary tale, and it's like, hold it at a distance from ourselves. No, Jonestown is Jim Jones is Bill Gates, is L. Ron Hubbard, okay, is Bezos and the rest of them. They are all the same person, and they are all engaging in shameless fear-mongering and grave evil, and they must be defeated. That's my thoughts on the matter. Thanks for watching. Andy Nowicki, AltRightNovelist.com.